Hey guys, the War for Wakanda expansion from Marvel's Avengers is now out. Let's talk about it. Before we go anywhere, the following isn't a review per se, but is my personal thoughts and opinions as a player myself. Please feel free to comment below your thoughts. If you agree with me or you disagree, do let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's personal thoughts on this great expansion. Tuesday was a day full of anticipation leading up to the release, with hyped up fans ready to dive into the action as quickly as possible. As a member of the community and someone close to the community team, the lead up was a time full of hot sweats and anxiety, and I couldn't imagine how it would have felt to the rest of the developers. It's well known that Wakanda took its time to come to players, and after experiencing it, it's clear to me exactly now why. Crystal Dynamics had been hard at work. Wakanda's environment is something out of this world, and that is a good thing. The world of Wakanda feels so much more alive and dense compared to the previous locations and biomes, and now really shows a world that feels lived in, a world that should be defended, a world that shows why the Avengers avenge. Long gone are the empty streets of New York with a small scattering of aimbots. Wakanda also refreshes the resource crates to fit within the biome, and this goes a very long way from the clunky crates we've seen before. Even Strongboxes received a full visual refresh, properly tying them into Wakanda's aesthetics. Wakanda does a great job at refreshing every aspect of the game's visuals, stopping repetition, while keeping the design principles in line with previous iterations, to allow the player to quickly understand what is traversable, collectible, and smashable. The team at Crystal Dynamics have really done a fantastic job here. Wakanda also brings a new enemy faction, the Claw Company, complete with bruisers, heavies, marksmen, disruptors, strikers, and strategists, each coming with their own style of combat. Wakanda also brings creepy crawler robot spiders, and this goes a long way to address one big community complaint from the past, that the game needs enemy variety. And I think Crystal Dynamics truly heard the player base here. The new enemy types are fun to strike down with Black Panther. More on him in a moment. With well-crafted visual design and movesets, these enemies feel like a challenge to take on, at least with a low-leveled Black Panther. Again, more on him in a moment. The objective types in Wakanda do a good job at mixing things up a little less than I'd have liked, but it's going in correct directions, I think. All besides the new Defend Horde mode objective, which with a low-level Black Panther felt more like a panic strategy mode being added into the Brawler Smash game. I personally found this objective type to be among one of the toughest and more frustrating types in the game. Do keep in mind all of my time in Wakanda so far was spent playing a low-level Black Panther and alone with my AI teammates, so this may feel better in multiplayer with some friends and a mix of AoE character builds. Black Panther feels awesome to play as, with his sharp sweeping attacks and agile moveset. He brings something new to the game while also fitting right into the existing roster. The combat team have done an amazing job to capture his signature moves and combat style. One of the best parts of his kit is the pounce attack. Being able to leap onto an enemy, scratch the hell out of him is really satisfying. Though this is made a little less satisfying by the fact that most of the enemies are able to block this move, leading to you to bounce right back off them. Though I do expect being a higher level would make this move a lot easier to pull off. I really have enjoyed my time with Black Panther so far, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck in to level him up to the highest I can possibly get him. So far, this seems to be the only issue I found with Black Panther's moveset, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go next. Now, I don't really want to do any spoilers here, but let's talk a little bit about the campaign. The player's entry into Wakanda is a little bit confusing, as the narrative directly states an event outside of Wakanda that the player hasn't actually engaged in yet, which for me feels like the timing of the upcoming Corrupted Vibranium event was slightly mistimed due to patch and weekly reset timings, but this is just a small issue. Overall, the narrative does a decent job at introducing the player to Wakanda, its people, and its culture. War for Wakanda sets up and smashes down a villain really well, and sets some interesting interactions between the player and the big bads, which was a welcome sight to see in cinematic form. The narrative has a small moment where it seems to do the same thing it did earlier in the expansion by reusing a plot point and a player objective, and I would have liked to see some differences between these two encounters. Overall, the narrative of this expansion is strong and a must-play experience for Marvel and Black Panther fans. The boss of this expansion, Claw, is well-rounded, and his encounter feels good, though I expected a little bit more in here. But with the addition of Crossbones being included in the Claw encounter, the narrative seems to stick the landing. My only other issue that needs to be looked at by Crystal Dynamics is the visual effects for the sonic disruption status, as this is almost blinding in most situations and throws off any group the player had at that point they were hit. The drones emitting this effect are also super tough to spot and dispatch while being affected by the effect, leading to moments of frustration and headaches that could be toned down a bit to give the player a better overall experience. I was originally going to give War for Wakanda 7 out of 10, mostly for these small issues, but after reflecting on my thoughts since yesterday, I think an 8 would be fitting. So I think that's my thoughts and opinions on this expansion. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on War for Wakanda, and my thanks to SonicPhoto for assisting in creating and editing this video. Please do go and check him out. Links are below. Until next time, Kel out.